Steve, dude, you and I checked out something I've been keeping my eye on called Caravan Sandwich, and I'm gonna kick it right over to you to get started. What are your thoughts? What are you scoring this one?
I'm actually giving this a 6.5 out of 10. I had a bit of trouble getting into this game to start off with. It is text to talk. The premise of the story is that your sister's missing, presumed dead, and all of a sudden after 6 years, you now get a message. So as this character, you have to go out and basically look for her, find out what's going on, which is the premise of the story of this game of exploring. But I did have some issues with this one, don't Drew? I won't sort of lie about it. So what are you scoring this, your kind of first impressions?
Dude, honestly, I'm a little bit lower. I'm going with a 6. I think there is some missed opportunities here. I think the characters are super boring. The side characters, dude, I didn't care about any of them. To the point where I actually don't like some of them and didn't want to do their missions. But you're forced to do those missions because you need resources to upgrade the caravan so you can get different gadgets to help you along with the story, right? I think the main story is cool, and that's really what I was trying to focus on. But when you're traveling around, dude, the camera can be so broken at times. It is hard to play. Like, you're in there and the camera's just like in, out, in, out, in, out of certain objects, and I'm just like almost to the point where I feel like I'm gonna have a seizure. So like it was that broken for me at moments. It was so irritating because I think that's the biggest part that took me out of it, besides the side quest characters that nobody, dude, you have no connection to these characters, right? That's it. You get your main character, and then the premise of, like you say, right, go find your sister. What happened to her 6 years ago and solve this mystery. That's the draw. I do appreciate, though, the art style. I think the art style is incredible. I think it's so charming. It is so peaceful. It is so relaxing. There is no enemies to worry about, right? It is just you taking your time, going out, searching for things, getting material, coming back, upgrading the caravan to get certain gadgets going so that help you progress through the story. But it's so slow at moments.
Yeah, and I'm like you. I found it, like you're saying, repetitive because it was doing the same thing. Because you do, when you start off, you get this antenna, which helps you find objects, doorways, and switches. But the problem is to activate it, it makes the whole screen from a nice, from the color the world is, it goes into a grey. So I found I was using that most of the time because I was scanning the areas as I was driving, which brings me to the caravan. I hated the controls of the caravan with your right trigger for your accelerator, but one of the buttons for your scan, then you get like this boost. Yeah. But it says fast speed, but it just gives it a quick boost. And when you're just going back to the same ruins and areas, I kind of did forget also when you do talk to other people of what the story was, because everyone gives you different quests to do, and it's no kind of, it doesn't really tie in, or it didn't feel like that to me.
You're fetching a sandwich for somebody, like you try to make this whole lunch thing, and that character, dude, I try to avoid as much as possible. His name is Curry. Couldn't stand him whatsoever. I'm like, I'm not doing your stuff. I just want to work on the main story, and it wouldn't let me do the main story because you need these other components, and you have to go gather those other components. But the only way you can really get the good stuff is by doing some of these side quests. I felt forced when I didn't want to, right? I think that was the thing. So it pulled me out of the story. And dude, like that camera was so busted at moments. It was a heartbreaker because I really did like just kind of going out and exploring. Dude, I am such a go out in the world, gather up materials, come back, craft it up. The problem is sometimes, like, to find out the material that you needed, it wasn't explained well at all. So you go back to your garage, and then you're trying to build this the grapple hook to get started, more or less. Is like the main thing that really kind of helps open things up a little bit more. And from there, dude, I was like, okay, well, what materials do I need? Like, I had no idea for the longest time while I'm playing the game that when you push down on the D-pad, I think it actually drops the menu down. It doesn't say what you're after, though. It just flashes the material list. I was like, oh, okay. If you would have actually said, here's what your materials are, then you go into the toaster to get your journal entries. It's just, man.
We should say social, or the messenger, isn't it? The toaster is their messenger to the other. So weird. What your quests are, which is like a textual talk again, which is like the real characters in real life, which is kind of confusing because you're with humans on a planet, but you also interact with frogs as well. Because I think that's like some of the quests. The good side about this game I did like is when you do get the upgrade is, I know it's a little bit weird, but you do get a simulator that you actually go into.
I didn't like it.
it was kind of good for the explanation of how to use it, but I think it wasn't that hard to figure out how to use the grapple hook or the scanner to find out objects and then pull stuff out.
I would have rather have been, okay, now you have the object, go over here and this is how it works. Instead, they teleport you into like this VR sequence, which then you have to go do this other mission that I didn't really want to do because I'd rather be focused on the story. So it just, I felt it was so convoluted and it just jumped me all over the place in directions I just didn't want to go.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, it was a bit hard for me to connect with this game with the storyline. But if you're looking for something that you just want to chill out, the background music's kind of chilled and relaxing, then this is for some other people. For me, I did have a bit of issue with this one.